So I'm starting to revisit horror movies that I slightly remember, and I think this one was the sign that I should stop. Pulse 2006 is an estranged horror movie from the 2000s. I was pretty sure I'd seen it. I kept thinking of this laundromat scene with this fuzzy monster attacking somebody. But when I looked at the cover, I didn't know what the hell this was. I've never seen this shit at Blockbuster. But when I looked at this cover, it looked familiar. And turns out that this is also Pulse, but this is from 2001. This is the Japanese original. This shit is a remake. That's what I watched. But even then, I still didn't know if I was even thinking of the correct movie. Because then I thought of Fear.com, the little fuzzy character on the cover. Is that what I'm thinking of? Or am I thinking about White Noise? What f***ing movie was I thinking about?
They got your data, you might not have thought. You signed up for this one thing, but you really got bought. You had no idea, they treat you a fool. Now you getting letters, messages, they calling you too. How they mail in my residence, you contacted who? True? Who gave you this number? What else do you got? My IP mother's maiden and where I like to shop. Stop, no, data brokers got a stockpile. Stop, go find a hobby other than preying on me privately, prying on my property. Probably got my prompt bitches, maybe not prime. We should download Incogni. They'll reach out to brokers and have it removed promptly. They'll solve your problems, they'll go to battle. They request removals and deal with the hassle. Go to incogni.com/MrGG and use code Mr. GG to get an exclusive offer of 60% off. That's incogni.com/MrGG. Don't forget code Mr. GG. Super easy to remember. Click the link below. And thank you, Incogni, for sponsoring this video. For sponsoring this video. For sponsoring this video. That's FTC guidelines sponsoring this video. The sponsor of this video.
Pulse. The only thing we knew for certain that the people behind this movie had. I just watched Raka Raka's Talk to Me today. How the fuck am I supposed to come down from that movie to now start talking about this movie? I was struggling to finish this script after watching that. By the way, go watch that movie, big cosign. I'm also being serious. I had to scroll back like 20 plus movie reviews to find a movie that is debatably worse than this one. And it's when we get to those bum-ass Conjuring ripoffs that were made with gift cards and Wondershare Filmora trials. And that's the embarrassing part. Pulse has a $20 million budget. 7 zeros. The movie Pulse just occurs. You can follow along, but don't stop and think too much about anything because your question is not going to be answered. They had one shot, one opportunity. Fucking dad's ravioli, not even the real thing. Now you may be asking, what is this movie about? Well, when their computer hacker friend accidentally channels a mysterious wireless signal, a group of co-eds rally to stop a terrifying evil from taking over the world. It doesn't even sound good. They couldn't even lie to me. They couldn't try to lie to me and try to convince me that this movie's good. With that description, you might as well have just read the shitty subtext on the cover. There are some frequencies we were never meant to find. Ooh. Any radio broadcasting majors shaking in their boots? I think the most interesting thing about this movie is the cast. So, let's start with Kristen Bell, the main character, Maddie. She's blonde, she's pretty, and her boyfriend's being slowly infected by a downloaded demon. She starts off by telling us that Josh, her boyfriend, has been avoiding her for a week. So after he leaves a weird voicemail, she decides that she should go check up on him. This scene's great. She lets herself into his apartment and it's filthy. There's shit all over the place, there's hung up tarp, looks like a crime scene. Hey, what's going on with this computer over here? The network seems to be flooded, sapping computer memory stemming from a subset of malware. Does it not smell like shit in there, Maddie? How is this holding your attention out of everything? Josh is actually here, he's just been watching. So he ghoulishly approaches from beyond the tarp. Looks like he just took off his Ultimate Warrior makeup. And Maddie is obviously an emotional roller coaster right now. I mean, she's deeply concerned, she's confused, she's angry, she's in a panic.
Josh.
I mean, that's a good place to start. You gotta start by addressing him, right?
Hey.
Okay.
Stay here.
Maddie? Maddie? Maybe it's time to speak up, Maddie. Actually, Josh, can you come back? Are you gonna let this happen? Does he seem of sound mind to you? Because he does. I was not getting that. Is Josh? While Josh is doing whatever, she then proceeds to find a dying cat in his closet, which is the final straw.
Oh, Josh.
Oh, hey, it's that thing you said already.
Josh.
His name. So Josh ends up game ending himself with an Ethernet cord because technology's bad. Because, you know, technology's got a grip on us. We need to hang it up. We need to boot that shit. Just kick that... What's another word for shit? Stool. Maddie breaks down with the school counselor. I don't know, this guy's a dick.
I don't know why I didn't see the signs. I should have been there.
You were there.
Done something.
Correct. In a chat room with Josh's friends, Josh jumps in spamming "help me." Perplexed by this, they assume it's a virus because he's probably still logged in. So the goal now is to log him out. They send their buddy Stone back to his apartment to deal with the matter, but his PC's missing. He goes into his room that's also filthy and blockaded with red tape, and that's when he sees a fuzzy lady approach him. He watches for about 12 minutes and then runs to rip the tape off the window to look outside. Then he just dives over the bed and lies on the floor, and that's really it. A valiant attempt, Stone. So he's not dead, right? What happens is that he's now infected, which means he's weird and cryptic, but also aware he's suffering and wants it to stop. He doesn't give Maddie a direct answer on a phone call whether he logged Josh out or not, so she just moves on and decides, well, let's have a character visit this apartment for the third time in 14 minutes. She walks in and, oh, is that Oscar winner Octavia Spencer as landlady for a whopping 70 seconds of the movie? It is. She's cleaned out the apartment to rent the room again, and she ends up telling Maddie that she sold the computer to some dude because Josh wasn't paying his rent and she needed to make her money back. So Maddie tracks him down, and it's some dusty, raggedy mechanic who... Oh wait! It's actually Vampire Diaries heartthrob Ian Somerhalder. His eyes are the same color as the shitty tint that has been on this entire movie. So Maddie thinks that Dexter here has been messing with her, pretending to be Josh, but he hasn't even plugged in the PC, which just sounds impossible, but she thinks not much of it and leaves. Dexter then starts setting it up in his studio, and I'm sorry, am I supposed to believe that fucking jawline over here is a hardcore mechanic who also, I don't know, knows how to code? How are you perfect and still written in as more than that? He plugs in the PC and it says, "Do you want me to ghost?" That's when he starts to see cams of random people doing random things. Dude, this is dark web. One guy pulls out a blicky, which scares him, and he turns it off. Maddie finds a package that was sent by Josh 2 days before he died. It's 3 rolls of red tape with the note, "It keeps them out." I don't know why. Now keep in mind, they have no clue what the hell that means. In fact, they begin to discuss how they have no clue what the fuck that means. Maddie brings up Stone and how she felt weird talking to him, kind of like she did with Josh. So then Tim opens up the tape and gives one to each person, like, "Josh is right, we're gonna need this." But they don't know what it is. They don't know what's happening at all. So I don't know where Tim got the balls, but this makes no sense. By the way, I didn't recognize Tim here, but when I saw his face, I thought, he just looks like one of those guys in a 2000s softcore comedy. Do I ever miss? A quick news story runs talking about how there is a sudden suicide epidemic in the city. That's it. Dexter catches back up with Maddie and shows her the webcam feeds on Josh's computer. Dexter is trying to figure out what the hell this all is and what Josh was doing with it, but Maddie brushes him off and says she has to move on, so she leaves. Even though you and your friends were literally just plotting about how to defend yourselves from blank, like in the scene right before this. Maddie starts hallucinating in the bathtub, and I guess this is supposed to be like the substitute for horror in this movie. She then sees something in the water, and it's the Plants vs. Zombies guy, which is now the perfect time to show you a very fun interview moment.
For me, I thought the creepiest scene was seeing that eye in the bathtub, like coming up from the bottom. How was that scene to shoot? Like, did you have like the strategic suds person helping you out?
What kind of freak ass question is this? Bro, shot is shot. Ugh. The scariest scene of the movie. That might be like the worst scene of the movie. It's definitely the worst scare. Every other scare has surpassed it pretty easily. But Bathtub Billy over here thinks otherwise. Sure thing. Also, as we go on, the script starts to make more sense once you realize how many steps this script went through. This movie is a remake that the original director was gonna take on, but then in comes Wes Craven instead. 2002, Wes writes the script with Vince Gilligan. 2003, the Weinsteins want Wes to direct Cursed instead. I've never heard of this movie. Wes declines, but 10 days out from filming Pulse, the studio nukes the production, basically forcing Wes to direct Cursed, which he did. 2004, a new director comes on with a new writer who start rewrites. That new writer then gets replaced with another writer. 2005, they begin shooting. 2006, Pulse is released. 2023, I am upset watching it. Tim tries reaching out to Stone, gets the ghost prompt, and sees Stone on his monitor. Also, there's like a real epidemic here happening, right? Like there's little to no kids on campus because of what's happening, and even though Maddie is on the ground floor of the whole operation, she's still showing up to her psych class like everything's okay. Spooky stuff. Tim shows up to Stone's room and he sees him on the computer screen, and then actually sees him right there as he dissolves into the wall. What the hell is happening? Tim might say. But he doesn't. He instead rushes to his room and then immediately starts covering it with red tape, even though he quite literally has no clue what the hell is happening or what the hell this does. I know they got the note. It keeps them out. I don't know why. But like what? What is he hiding? Does he know what he's hiding from? Does he know what to... No, he does not. And you want to know the best part? He runs out of tape and then inexplicably decides to peel back the peephole to look out the peephole because he needs to be vigilant for some reason. Did I mention he has no clue what the hell is happening? He peels it back and then he's attacked through the peephole. Tim's an idiot. So is this movie. Because the way this monster thing ghost attacks is very inconsistent. Maddie gets the ghost prompt, swipes right on some red rooms, and then disconnects the computer. But that's when her printer starts printing. Oh no. A grainy piece of paper. Oh no, another. Oh no, another. Oh no, it's a big grainy face. This is the thing that changes her mind. Remember how she was like, I don't want to know, I gotta move on. This is the thing that changes her mind and has her go to Dexter, pleading to know what's going on. The grainy printer puzzle was the straw that broke the camel's back. Dexter shows her some videos of Josh talking where he discusses how he hacked into some guy's system named Douglas and released a virus that is unheard of. It's frying all his firewalls and circuits and he doesn't know how to stop it. But wait, he actually does. He created a counter virus and he went to meet up Douglas in the library to give it to him. This was actually the beginning scene of the movie that I just skipped over. He walks around the library and then gets attacked. He then talks about how what infected him is breaking him down and he can't take the pain.
What if it's all connected?
What? The computers, like the cords and stuff. This may be the most confusing scene in the movie. So that was the beginning of the scene, right? Can I just say how funny it is that they're even here? Because they were already at Dexter's house talking. Look, they just finished watching the video, randomly get up, and leave with no discussion to be had. I mean, if we're talking about the antagonist, we gotta be at a diner. That's the rule.
The sides, the internet people, the things I saw.
The ghosts? I'm not buying it, Maddie.
What? You were the one pushing for this very conversation earlier. You were the one theorizing that it was all connected, that they were all dead people. What the fuck are you talking about?
Josh wasn't on a power trip with viruses. He saw something horrible, something like this.
There is no shot in hell that you took a photo of that thing trying to pass it off as evidence. Maddie, you saw Josh with his black bruises acting unlike himself. You spoke to Stone, who sounded different and who you haven't seen since. In fact, you've seen the fucking monster a couple of times at this point. How is this Exhibit A?
It came through the Wi-Fi.
Just like Josh said, he pulled something through.
Pulled ghosts through the Wi-Fi? It just doesn't make any sense.
It makes all the sense in the world. Do you have...
What are you? What? Everybody welcome in Oscar-nominated actor Brad Dourif, playing thin, bookish guy who goes on a conspiracy rant at the diner and then is never heard from again. If you don't know Brad, he's the voice of Chucky and was also in other movies. Will you fuck off, Exorcist 3?
It's something we don't understand, and it is coming for us.
You're freaking us out, man.
Who are you? Since the actors have had a fun little streak so far, I decided to look up this woman. And I didn't really recognize her for anything except one role. It was her role in American Pie Beta House, another 2000s softcore comedy. And I would be lying to you if I said I did not remember one of her scenes very specifically, which I will not be showing, and we will be moving on. What the hell is happening? Hey, did you forget about Maddie's friend Isabel? Because the movie sure did. Which, by the way, did any of you nosy observers happen to recognize recording artist Christina Milian? Why are you in this movie? Don't get me wrong, she's in plenty movies, but this cast is just so weird to me. We got Anna from Frozen and the woman who sang the Kim Possible theme song. And yes, I didn't know that until today. Anyway, Isabel gets the ghost prompt, which is basically supposed to be like the kiss of death, I think. It's like The Ring with really flexible rules, because Maddie and Dexter saw it, but they're fine. The news finally caught up and announces the virus spreading and urges everyone to shut down their computers. Then this random guy pins the red tape hack to stop the virus from entering the room. How he knows that, I don't know. It was this movie! It's the one I was talking, the laundromat scene, okay? I was thinking of post 2006. This is the scene, this is the only thing I remembered from this movie. And not even that accurately. I just knew there was a laundromat and a monster. Isabel comes down here and tries making small talk with this lady, asking her about plans tonight when, you know, there's a breaking news epidemic, no one's outside. She's attacked. Dexter finds that Douglas guy Josh was talking about and discovers the virus Josh made was on a flash drive taped in the computer. He plugs it in, his computer, dude, this is dark webs, and then he sees the ghost demon virus. Maddie sees Tim on her monitor and he's like calling her at the same time. I still don't fully know what this is. It's like dark web purgatory where you can still see people. Maddie finds Isabel in her bed dying and gives her a hug. She dissolves.
Maddie,
Dexter, Isabel's gone.
what do you mean she's gone?
Have you two ever spoke? Does he know who that is? I don't think those characters have ever said lines to each other. Car accident. People are dissolving. Survivors that are just here to give us the information that you can be safe in the dead zones where there's no computers, no phones, and no Wi-Fi. Wherever the hell that is. And while they're leaving, Maddie also has this stare with one of the women, like they know each other, like they care about each other and want each other to be okay. I have no idea who this woman is. It's very possible she's in one of the classrooms and I missed her, but other than that, no fucking clue why that scene is in there. They find Douglas, who sealed himself in a red tape room. He starts talking about how some frequencies were never meant to be found. We see some backrooms B-roll, and he explains when the ghosts get to you, they take your will to live and turn you to a shell of yourself. Even though Stone very explicitly yelled how he did not want to die as he died. Douglas tells them to go to the computer lab if they want to upload the virus to crash the network. They go there, and at this point, the ghosts are just kind of everywhere now, and Dexter holding the doors to stop them works. Tim died by a peephole 10 minutes ago. Dexter gets separated by, the reference, and by all means, he should be dead. He's in between all ghosts with nowhere to go. Maddie's stuck in the elevator, a demon just spawns in, and by all means, she should be dead. She's in an enclosed space with a ghost. She's fine, dumbasses. She makes it to the mainframe that's sealed with tape, not effectively, but someone did it. She sees herself on the monitor, and instead of doing the one thing she came here to do, she just kinda glances around for a bit. And even when the ghost pops in, she stares at him for super long, and by all means, she should be dead. She's getting the life sucked out of her. But Dexter just covers her eyes, and I guess that was the secret. She's fine now. They run away, and Maddie has this really epic line.
It's too late. There's nothing we can do.
I can still shut the system down.
Don't you get it? There's no system to shut down. They are the system.
I have.
So Dexter runs back to where he just ran from, because there's a ghost in there, and he sneaks in and loads up the flash drive. The ghost runs up on him, the system overloads, shutting everything down, and by all means, the ghost should be dead. He can't exist in a dead zone. The system just turns back on, the ghost respawns, and they just leave. No real plan in sight, except pause to look at all the ghosts on the roof. Oh yeah, also a plane goes down. And by all means, everybody on board should be dead. They find a truck and zoom off, and now they're just chilling and talking, and I guess they like each other now, bonding over Josh's death. Now they're parked, and the army over the radio urges the public to dump all their electronics because they're conduits for the ghost. Maddie still has her cell phone, and the ghost breaks the glass? They get swarmed, Dexter steps on it, and they drive 15 seconds, and oh look, now we're in a dead zone, we're safe. They can't exist without a signal. Maddie finally dumps her phone, and they just start driving again. They had 0 ways to end this movie. It is so very clear. There's like 3 almost endings, and you can tell they didn't know what to do, so they just made Maddie do this terrible narration at the end as they're driving to some army retreat that's safe. The narration says nothing. She's like, life will never be the same. We can't go back to that life, the life that they took from us. And that like, it's nothing. It is nothing. And it ends with Josh, the really important guy, Josh. Ghost Josh. And that's the movie. Credits, Pulse 2006. The only thing that cheers me up about this movie existing is the ultimate callback 2 years later, in one of my personal favorite comedies, Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Christabel is at the dinner table, and they start talking about a movie that she was in, and they just start making fun of the movie, making jokes about the premise and how stupid the movie was. And I'm very positive that they're just realistically talking about Pulse. And I am just very happy to say that I understand that scene now. It makes that movie even better. So thanks, Pulse.
It's a metaphor for addiction to technology.
For society, for how we're reliant on technology. I get it, I'm with you.
It's a metaphor for a crap movie.
I was actually going to watch the original Pulse to compare it in this video, but I had so much to say about this one that it was going to be way too big of a video. So I guess I'll ask you guys, should I still watch it? If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Trying to hit 1 million subs in 2023, so please subscribe. Really appreciate that. Second channel, Mr. GG. You can check that out. New videos, blah, blah, blah. Bangers on there. This one's a banger. I enjoy that one very much. Mista.gg, new merch. Patrons, love them. They're here. They get an exclusive video monthly. And as always, I'm Mr. GG, and I am out. Bah.